There was speculation that all the magic at Apple died with Steve Jobs, but now Tim Cook has unveiled the Apple Watch. John Ives, they got a good crew over there. Apple's first major device in years. And joining us now is the chairman and CEO of Patriarch Equity and digitalmarketing.com, Eric Schiffer. A pretty big deal yesterday. This is the first new Apple product announced in a long time. Also, a new laptop announced by Apple yesterday. Apple stock at an all-time high or close to it. Tim Cook taking Apple to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Has Tim Cook I guess he's standing on Steve Jobs' giant shoulders.
Well, he was until the watch. It's interesting. He is now really facing a time where his own products now are going to be the star, and the question will be, can he and will he be able to match the vision of a Steve Jobs? And my scorecard says no. Unfortunately, I think this watch, despite the efforts of many smart people at Apple, is going to end up not being one of their most successful products. They're attempting to enter into the world of fashion, and as we all know, fashion is very fickle. I mean, it just is. And Paris has pretty much turned the cold shoulder to the watch. It's not something that I think could rival some of these other top brands on the Rolex side and Patat and the others. So I think the market that they're looking for is going to be interesting and difficult to crack into. What's also interesting is the smaller screen. What's made the iPhone very successful of recent is the fact that it's a bigger screen. I mean, they were competing with Samsung, and now they're going to a smaller screen. So it defies the trend of what has been happening. And in fact, the watch doesn't really even work from a connectivity standpoint without the iPhone fully connected. So there's challenges there. I think that Tim Cook is a great leader. He's a great operational guy. The people that I know and are friendly with at Apple say he's great at details. He's superb. He's on the ball. He knows everything. If you don't know your business and the details, you're in trouble. But he's not a visionary. And what Apple needs is a visionary. They're leaving it to John Ive. The problem is he was always, following orders from Jobs. Right. And I don't think that Jobs, if he was alive today, would either be releasing the product, or to the extent he would consider releasing the product, releasing it in the state that it's in today.
Interesting take there. You mentioned the fashion aspect of all of this. Some prices for these Apple Watches can go up to the tens of thousands, $17,000, I think. You mentioned Rolex. It's one thing to buy a Rolex for several $1,000s and then be able to pass that on to future generations. There's no evidence that you'll be able to do that necessarily with the Apple Watch, because I know with my phone, I'm going to have to buy a new one every 3 years at least.
You're right on the money, John. In fact, what's interesting is, as we all know, tech depreciates. So why would tech not depreciate here? Look, the fashionistas consider this tech. It is tech. It's not fashion. This is not jewelry. It's jewelry. It's jewelry in a masquerade. It's faux jewelry, and the reality is that it will depreciate. This is not a good long-term investment. You're buying it for the tech and for the novelty. And look, if you're into the novelty and you're into the tech and you're interested in gadgets, this is another gadget. But to spend $10,000 for a watch to increase Apple's earnings when you're not going to get any kind of long-term value, certainly not something that you want to pass on to your children.
Now, of course, the Apple stock is owned by a lot of folks because it's in a lot of mutual funds right now, and a lot of folks have gotten in the Apple game because stock has been so attractive. What has this done for the stock, if anything, yet?
I think there's been some excitement initially for the stock with respect to this product, but I think that you're going to see ultimately that the product is not going to deliver. It may get some initial sales, but I think from a long-term strength standpoint, I don't think that you're going to see the revenues continue. And I ultimately, unless they have other products coming out, I think the stock it may begin to head downward.
Oh, okay. Interesting stuff there. So all you Apple fanboys and fangirls out there, don't get too excited about the Apple Watch yet. You might want to save that $17,000 for an Omega, maybe a Patek Philippe or a Rolex. We're going to talk a little bit more about Apple coming up. We're going to go to a short commercial break. Eric, thanks so much. We'll get you to stick around if we have time. We're going to keep our eye on the Hillary Clinton situation. She's expected to speak here momentarily, so we're watching that as well. We're going to have Nick Tate join us, too, if we have time, because we want to talk about another big announcement that came from Apple a while back, and that was announced, a little bit more was announced yesterday about eye health. Think about 2001, before the dawn of the iPod, where things have come with the music industry. Nick Tate says we might be doing the same thing with technology in our medical records. We're going to talk about that coming up. I'm John Bachman, sitting in for Ed Berliner today. Pleasure to be with all of you. More MidPoint coming up right after this short commercial break. We'll be right back.